Hey, what up, YouTube? Here in my garage, in my home that I bought. That it was absolutely every penny. It's worth every penny. I did not pay an obscene amount. I did not basically pay four times the amount that this actual house is worth. So here's what just under $1 million of buy-in nowadays. It's a complete fucking ripoff. So anyway, here in my garage, we're going to be covering UK news. Stick around. Welcome everyone back. Add them all together. Clutch Cargo, Lenny, Chem Goblin, Leon, the whole crew. It's good to see everybody. It really is. Thank you so much for coming back. Let me know if the volume is not working out. Just give me any volume feedback. Let's jump into it. Let's quit wasting time.
So everybody wins and everyone gets a prize. 3 by-elections and a victory for each of the 3 main parties. But the gleam on the Tory trophy shines less brightly than the other two, with a major swing away from the party in all 3 contests. Labour's big gain was Selby and Ainsley. They won here with a majority of just over 4,000. The Liberal Democrats took Somerton and Frome with a majority of 11,000. But the Conservatives held on to Uxbridge and South Ruislip with a reduced majority of less than 500. Our political editor, Gary Gibbon, is here.
It really is. And that is right there. That is the power of propaganda, because there's no good goddamn reason. If you're a poor person, there's no fucking reason to support a conservative. You know what I mean? And I guarantee you that that place that they just said is it's either an incredibly affluent area that doesn't want to have their taxes cut or some bullshit, or an incredibly poor area that's consistently voting against their interests because they've inoculated themselves in a right-wing propaganda bubble intentionally. But that's the result of it, right? They can hold on. They can hold on to these things. They can hold on to these constituencies no matter how much they beat them up, man. It's like an abused wife or abused girlfriend, man. It's crazy. It's insane. It's like, why are you still here? Why are you with this party? Oh, I've been with them so long. Girl, you gotta go. You gotta get out of there, girl. Hey, thank you so much, Free to Key for that follow. Appreciate it. I am seeing that. Sorry, I don't have my funny sound effects, so my shitty comedy is going to shine through. All right, let's jump through.
Quite a day.
Jump in.
Yes, and you might have expected Labour to be basking in the glory of that Selby result, but there's a bit of friction tonight, and senior figures in the Labour Party are taking pot shots at Sadiq Khan, the Mayor of London, because they think that his extension of the ultra-low emission zone to Uxbridge basically cost them the election there, and what would have been a clean sweep for the anti-conservative forces. He's pushing back a bit on that, but it opens up all sorts of other questions about how Keir Starmer runs the party and whether there are great risks in moving beyond what he likes to do, which is not expose too many flanks and give the opposition his opposition too many targets to fire at. That's where he wants to take things, but some people are already saying you need to be more definitive and clearer. For the Tories, they're looking at that Uxbridge result, which they only held on to by the skin of their teeth, and thinking, well, this proves that actually wedge issues work. If you can find something that wedges people away from their normal party loyalties, and that might not just be things like ultra-low emission zones in outer London boroughs, but could be, almost certainly will be, the immigration issue, where they think they can peel people away from Labour. And for the Lib Dems, they're looking at the result that they got in Somerton and thinking, well, maybe we actually should be targeting more seats. They don't want to spread themselves as ridiculously
you should
thinly
be talking
as they
about
did in
Brexit,
2019,
dumbasses.
Embarrassment. But they are thinking.
Should be talking about how your policies are going to help poor and middle class people. Fucking crickets on all this shit, dude. They're doing the same thing that the neoliberals do in the United States, staying mum on a bunch of stuff, afraid to make promises, right? Because the promises they know they're not going to keep, right? There's a bunch of corporate shit that the, corporate and, pro empire, pro right wing shit that the Tories did that the neoliberals aren't going to touch. Just like in the United States, the exact same thing. We all thought, oh, Obama's going to do this. Obama's going to do that. He's going to reverse this. He's going to reverse that. Look at all the shit that Joe Biden hasn't reversed. It's the same thing over here. And that's, it's the shit that they're staying quiet on, the shit that they're not talking about. That tells you, oh, okay, not much is going to change. And it's all intentional. It's all intentional. It's why they suck, man. It's like, this idea that they don't know what they're doing, right? That they don't they just don't have the right strategy. No. They know what type of strategy, because the idea is look at the alternative, right? What are you gonna, you gonna vote for this guy? You're gonna vote for another Tory, really, after Brexit, after the the three prime minister, roundabout kerfluffle, just embarrassment after embarrassment. Their policies are just insane. Quasi-Quatang over here, tanking your economy for a week. Oh, whoops! Just the tip. Just a little financial apocalypse. Just the tip. Just the tip. And you got a little taste of their little libertarian fucking nightmare, and the whole fucking system upended. And now you're stuck. And now you're stuck with a Brexit, with an after Brexit, with a post Brexit economy that is fucking completely in the tank. All the expats that thought that they were gonna win big, are not winning big. It's unbelievable how shitty this whole situation is, and we still have people. Oh yeah, it's better than the alternative. It's like, how possibly can't it be? Anyway.
Thinking of building up that list. The key takeaway, though, is any of those swings would get the Tories out of Downing Street. The narrow path to victory that Rishi Sunak has talked about, that is available to the Conservatives, remains a very.
I don't think that's true, Leon, because Leon's pointing out that because the current political idea is that you shouldn't talk about Brexit because people are exhausted about it. Yeah, people are exhausted about it, but they wouldn't be as exhausted if you are attacking your opponent by saying, you are the people that put this system in place. I am the person that's going to reverse it. I am the person that's going to wipe all this out. Every single wrong thing that you did is going to be reversed, but they're not. And that's a very convenient strategy, isn't it? That's a very convenient strategy, wouldn't you say? Because that means they don't have to make any promises about reversing it. What, are people just assuming Keir Starmer is just going to roll back the dice? Absolutely not. I guarantee you, Keir Starmer is going to start making speeches about moving forward, about how we can't be thinking about the past. We can't be thinking about the past. Oh, great. That means a bunch of that Tory legislation is going to stick around, right? Oh, whoops, nothing we could do about it. Can't get bogged down in the past. Just so happens to benefit my money masters, the people that I party with at my fucking soirees. Yeah, it happens, man.
Narrow and difficult ravine.
My buddies.
We can win anywhere.
Our historic by-election victory.
No one expected us to win here.
Three party leaders claimed victory. The quality of the wins.
I need my prices
greatly.
right.
I hereby declare that Keir Mather is duly elected.
Keir Starmer's 25-year-old namesake in Selby.
Yo, this shit is crazy. This is why you got to get in the ring, Leon. Look at this shit, dude. I don't know about all this guy's policies. He's been getting a little flack from the progressive left, but who fucking doesn't nowadays? I mean, you can't stick your neck out in this political arena without some leftist on Twitter taking a fucking complete diarrhea dump on your entire life. That's just how it is, man. That's the game. But look how young this kid is, dude. This kid's younger than me. It's bananas. It's bananas. He's in charge. Whoa. It can be done, Zoomers and millennials. And I guess the alpha generation. How old is the oldest alpha generation? They got to be getting close to 18.
Overturned a 20,000 Tory majority.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm a virgin. I'm actually
now,
a virgin.
I want to begin my time as your MP by being very clear.
Bro.
I understand.
Bro, the fuck. Bro, the fuck. Where's my fucking soundboard? Dun, 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 dun. What the fuck? What the fuck? I'm sorry. What the fuck? Homie's got a puppet behind him. UK politics is bananas. Homie's got a puppet behind him. We're doing this? He said, yeah, we'll have the puppet. The puppet can stand behind me. Yeah, the puppet. We're going to do the puppet. He said that? He's not a very good leader, dude. Is this kid a puppet? If I was a God damn it. If I was a leader, right? If I was this kid, I'd be like, yo, the puppet's not standing behind me. The puppet's not fucking standing behind me. That's just not, we're just not doing the puppet. The puppet can stand over there. Okay, but this is my victory speech. The puppet's not going to stand behind me. I'm sorry, I know I'm 21, fucking 90 pounds, wet and wearing boots. I got cherry ass cheeks. I got fucking milk drying on my lips. But yeah, no, we're not doing the puppet. How is this kid gonna do his fucking victory speech with the Leon? Can you help me out with this puppet? What the fuck is going on with the puppet? Is this normal in UK politics? The goddamn puppet? All right.
The enormity of what has just happened.
It's bananas.
I
dude.
know.
Am I supposed to take this shit seriously?
For years, the cameras
Fucking
deserted Lib Dem campaigns. Today, they mobbed Sir Ed Davey through the narrow lanes of Somerton, scene of his party's latest by-election triumph.
The fuck is the puppet?
Ed, we're good for stopping when we get to the end here.
This is like when we
Thank
ran
everyone
into
for
that
coming.
clown. Remember that clown in Israel-Palestine?
Rishi Sunak, by contrast, went
That
to
shit was
Uxbridge to celebrate the Tories just holding on to their seat here.
Look, Westminster's been acting like the next election's a done deal. The Labour Party's been acting like
Count
it's a done
Binfield.
deal. The people of Uxbridge just told all of them that it's not.
What we saw in
well,
all
it's
three
true.
by-elections last night was that the third party was really squeezed. I mean, even when you look at how low they were in 97, they were squeezed down below that.
As the graph shows, those figures around 2 or 3% are even lower than the third party was getting in 1997, which is an election at which there was in itself quite a lot of tactical voting against the Conservatives. Even if it is at the level that it was at in 1997, that could be sufficient to make a significant difference to the outcome.
And it's all done on the quiet.
There's no
Puppet was a strong candidate, unlucky not to win.
explicit collaboration between the opposition parties. But the Labour Party will inevitably focus its resources in a general election on those seats where it thinks it's got a best chance. The Liberal Democrats will do the same.
Labour's disappointed candidate watched Uxbridge slip from his grasp in the early hours of this morning. His victorious Tory opponent said London Mayor
Stealing
Sadiq
votes.
Khan's planned
Proof.
extension of the ultra-low
Look at that,
emission
dumps.
zone, charging drivers of diesel and older petrol cars £12.50 a
Yeah.
day,
See that?
gave him victory.
Dump.
Why do I think I won? Because the Uxbridge and South Russet residents voted for me because I was standing up in complete opposition for the ULEZ expansion.
I'm probably more geared towards the Labour Party. However, because of the ULEZ, I was uncomfortable with that.
Rishi Sunak's claiming it's his
Dang,
victory
this is
today.
quite a top
that's a load of
ULEZ,
rubbish.
huh?
I mean, a sandwich of kids, but
Wait, what'd she say?
I was uncomfortable with that.
Rishi Sunak's claiming it's his victory today.
Oh, well, that's a load of rubbish. I mean, a sandwich
Get
of kids, but it's nice to have two kids as Labour MPs.
Oh, the young fucking twink that got in is Keir Starmer's son, brother, cousin, something or other. Oh my god, dude. This, this emulating Kennedy-style dynasties, you guys don't want this shit. Is this a normal thing in UK politics? Leon? No, his name is just Keir. No shit. Okay, he's not related. He's just named Keir. All right. Is it possible? Is it possible that what got him over the edge is the people being confused about what they were voting for?
Starmer, on a victory lap in Selby, said the Uxbridge result should make the party and the Mayor of London reflect.
We knew that ULEZ was going to be an issue. And of
What's
course,
ULEZ?
we all need to
Where do you
reflect
stand on
that,
ULEZ?
including the mayor needs to reflect on that.
This rather
No.
jarred with the rest of it, in that the other things that we're trying to do are an attempt to make people more prosperous by harnessing the kind of change.
Drama Llama Panorama. Love that name. Dude, I just got done watching the entire 20 part miniseries on War and Peace. I got my fill of ancient aristocracy. This shit is wild. I swear to God, there's like over 10 ballroom dancing scenes in War and Peace. It's bananas. America didn't invent the aristocracy. We twisted it and warped we threw that shit away, man. Eventually, there was a lot of Americans though that wanted that over here too. I guess they still kind of do, but it's different now. Now they're all like weird techno libertarians. They don't want an aristocracy. They want like They want to be like the head of a robot dictatorship, man. I don't know what get in the mind of Zuckerberg. What the fuck does he want politically, right? Besides tax cuts, right? Fucking nightmare fuel, right? Elon Musk over here telling us exactly who the fuck he is if he ever got any kind of political power. ULEZ was a positive policy, which the Tories started. Oh, interesting. This is one of those things. The Tories forced the local mayor to expand it without money for safeguards for low earners. They then blamed the Labour mayor for expanding it. That's why we dropped the ball. It was so fucking obvious to counter. Fascinating stuff. Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay. Interesting.
To a green economy, to create new jobs, new wealth around the country, but do it in a way that also reduces carbon.
The Tories.
And this was actually taking money off people, and it's in a regressive way.
Sadiq Khan suggested Uxbridge was always very likely to stay Tory.
That seat's never been Labour, even during the Tony Blair heydays of the 1990s and early noughties.
Another post-by-election victory Lib Dem stunt. Yesterday's by-elections also revealed still more anti-conservative tactical voting. Labour and Lib Dem supporters lending their vote to the other side, where their first choice party can't win.
Do people want this? Do voters actually want this? Are there enough fucking mush brains that want this fucking... Yay, confetti came out of a fucking cartoon can and with the fucking doodly-doo. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Who wants this? What does this make people feel safe for some shit?
We saw a swing to Labour from the Conservatives, 24% in Selby, 7% in Uxbridge. That gives an average swing
just over 15%.
Yeah. We're told Labour needs a swing of about 12% to get a majority. Which one of those numbers should people be looking at and taking seriously?
That average swing across these two by-elections is exactly in line with the 15% swing that the opinion polls are on.
Yo, that was a great cut. Let's give props to the producer on that one. Yo, loving the production on this.
Seriously.
That average
swing
effect across these two by-elections is exactly in line with the 15% swing that the opinion polls are on average currently pointing to.
But people in Tory high command who go around saying, oh, don't believe Labour's lead in the polls, don't believe their lead in the by-elections, will halve that and in a campaign maybe take even more off them. What does history teach us about that?
Fuel.
Well, unfortunately for the Conservatives, the precedents created by the by-elections on Thursday are not very happy. It is a further indication, together with the opinion polls, that the Conservatives are indeed in deep electoral trouble, and that we are seeing results from the ballot boxes of the kind that we have not seen since that, for the Conservatives, fateful 1992 to 97 Parliament.
Whoa.
Thousands of lifelong Labour voters have lent us their support.
Back in the old Clintonian 90s, boy, the neoliberals were on top, baby. You could not stop that neoliberal train. Back in the 90s. Shit. Boy, I mean, the obvious question is, okay, wow, so they've just been given a shitload of power, unprecedented in several decades. How are they not going to use it? How are they going to squander it? And, serendipitously kind of, while they're, kind of giving away a bunch of shit to the oligarchy and the corporate interests that basically fund their campaigns and that they hang out with all day, that they're buddies with, right? Because the moment they're out of politics, where do they scuttle to, right? These little companies, right? Do their little speeches. It took him a minute. He was a little surprised there, but I gave him some tickles and he was all good.
Support to beat the Conservatives.
Where's that?
Keir Starmer doesn't publicly bless these moves, but he campaigns light where the Lib Dems have much better hopes. After the results yesterday in Selby and Somerton, Both parties are wondering if they should now expand their target seats list.
Well, earlier I spoke to the chair of the Conservative Party and MP, Greg Hands. I started by asking him what he made of the poor night at the polls for the Tories.
Well, I think they're a mixed set of results. Clearly, we're disappointed by the results in Selby and Ainsty and in Somerton and Frome, but excited by the result in Uxbridge, where we defied the odds to win the Uxbridge by-election. Steve Tuckwell, I'm looking forward to welcoming him to Parliament and being a brilliant MP for the area.
How often have you uttered the words, thank God for ULEZ, since last night?
ULEZ is an important issue, a very important issue, but it also reflects something wider.
And it won you the
It was a
by-election.
big part of that.
It was the only part of
it wasn't the only part, but it's a big part of it, but also reflects something wider, Jackie, and that is this, that Labour, when Labour are in power, and they've had the London Mayor for the last 7 years in Sadiq Khan, they are not competent. They cannot deliver the people's priorities.
The winning Conservative candidate in Uxbridge and Ruislip didn't mention Rishi Sunak. In fact, he credited Sadiq Khan, the London Mayor, because he's the architect of ULEZ.
People don't think that Labour is a competent party of government. That is the doubts that people have about Labour. I said that people in Selby and Ainsty didn't come to the door saying that Labour was
wait
the
a minute,
answer.
okay, Leon, am I getting this right? So that they forced through ULEZ, cost a bunch of money, but people actually liked it. So they want to take credit for it, but they're blaming Labour for the cost, the budget overrunning. Is that what I'm hearing here?
Starmer
But they
was the
didn't
answer.
come out for you, and that is the problem.
But that is still why we're working hard. Why we're working hard, showing that Rishi Sunak is working hard and doing well as a Prime Minister. So the response to Rishi Sunak on the doorstep was very good.
Yeah,
The
he's doing
response to
great.
Keir Starmer, nobody came to the doorstep with any enthusiasm for Keir Starmer.
If Uxbridge and South Ruislip is a verdict on Labour, what is the verdict in Selby,
Clearly,
Somerton and Frome?
clearly we're disappointed by those results. But if you look at, let me look at those results
Let me
though,
just
because
spin
in
this.
Selby and Ainsty
Just pivot.
was largely driven by a low turnout, Conservatives staying at home. Now that's not something I'm proud of. I'm the chairman of the Conservative Party. Conservatives not coming and voting Conservative, that is a problem. But there weren't people switching directly to Labour. And the doorstep at Selby and Ainsty, I didn't meet a single person come to the door saying the answer to their problems was Labour and Sir Keir Starmer.
I mean, the Prime Minister has said this morning
There
that
you go.
circumstances were not favourable, which is, I think, what you're alluding to. But those circumstances are entirely of your party's making. You've got a Prime Minister essentially forced out of the Commons for lying.
How did
You
Labour-
had an
okay,
MP
how is
forced
this
to stand
one
down
Labour's
because
fault?
of cocaine use. These were circumstances entirely of your party's making, and perhaps
it's
that
Labour.
is what you're being judged on.
I think it's important to draw a difference between the circumstances of the by-elections. You're right, the backdrop, the cause of why there was a by-election was not a favourable issue for the
Ooh, this is an advanced pivot, okay? You're right, but let me explain why you're actually wrong.
Conservatives. But I think overall, where people think what is driving the issues that matter to them in terms of cost of living, the waiting lists and the NHS, in terms of illegal migration, those are driven principally by the pandemic and principally by Vladimir Putin's illegal invasion of Ukraine. That is what drives people's views of the issues overall.
But the circumstances of the by-election, people may be looking at the level of MPs, at the integrity question.
That Putin man, he's something else, dude. He's like an electoral demon in the UK, dude. He's like a little gremlin screwing up the Tories' plans. Oh, if it wasn't for Putin, they'd be doing great.
And deciding enough is enough.
No
That
doubt
is
about
That
it.
is potentially an issue, isn't it?
Well, ultimately, those by-elections, whilst they did not have good backdrops, ultimately, for example, in Uxbridge, it was a referendum on who was going to be the next MP, not the last MP. And the problem with the Labour candidate was that he changed his view, and that also reflects the problem Keir Starmer has. Keir Starmer cannot stick to a position. He says different things to different audiences. He's always trying to please the audience of the day.
Nadine Dorries takes a very different assessment.
I mean, pointing out the problems with your average neoliberal is like shooting fish in a barrel, because he's not wrong. Is he wrong? Is he wrong? He's not really that wrong, is he? But the alternative is so much worse. So much worse, objectively.
Prominent MP, as you know, takes a very different assessment of the victory in Uxbridge. She says, you know, this is about Boris Johnson, the former MP, and the angry Tories will not come out for Rishi Sunak because of what he did.
Well, I disagree with that because, clearly overall, Rishi Sunak's name is more popular than the Conservative Party overall. Rishi outpolls the Conservative Party. I know for a fact, I've done a huge number of doorstep conversations in Selby and Ainsty and Uxbridge and Somerton and
people
Frome.
love
Every
him.
single conversation I've had has been improved by mentioning Rishi Sunak and the job that he is doing as Prime Minister. People respond well to
It
that.
just didn't work in those two constituencies.
In terms of where people reflect on the Conservative Party, there's still a lot of unhappiness about what the Conservative Party was up to last year. But people think that Rishi Sunak is the right choice for Prime Minister and doing a good job in difficult circumstances.
Analysts saying you are in deep electoral trouble and turning this round will be extremely difficult. Do you
He can't agree with this. He can't agree with this. This is going to be interesting.
at least accept?
Well, politics was never designed to be easy, and that is why we are working hard on the 5 priorities.
So you're convinced you can turn this round?
Well, I
They cut it out, dude. He just listed them out. He cut it out. They cut him out.
I wouldn't be in the job if I wasn't convinced that we could win the general election when it comes, but it really is at the moment all about delivering in government for the people of the country, for the issues that matter to them, the cost of living, the NHS and illegal migration.
Greg Hans, thanks very much for talking to us this morning.
Thank you.
It's fascinating how the right wing are able to churn illegal immigration into an issue, you know? With a little bit of investment, you can take these people that want to work, that want to make your country better, and churn them into citizens and churn them into taxpayers and give them a place to stay. And you can, you know, give them a profession. But no, they'd rather use them as a cynical bludgeon, right? Against one, you know, a political bludgeon, really, against one side or the other. This guy doesn't give a shit about human beings one way or the other, right? He likes that there's, you know, these brown people, these scary brown people coming over. It's a very, very useful political tool, you know, because instead of saying, did he say, you know, make your wages higher, right? Lower food costs, lower energy costs? No, what did he say?
Win the general election when it comes, but it really is at the moment all about delivering in government for the people of the country, for
Okay, so he's delivering for the people, and what do the people want?
the issues that matter to them, the cost of living, the NHS,
All right, cost of living, NHS, all right,
and illegal migration.
and illegal migration. Really? All right. 2 out of 3. UK politics is still better than the United States. Neoliberals in the United States don't even have to pretend. They can just say, LGBTQ woke, 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 woke. They're trying to feed your baby kitty litter, turn them gay. All right, folks, there you go. That's my UK update. Thank you very much, Leon, who brought it up when he popped in and then left. Thanks so much, Leon. I appreciate that. All right, bye-bye.